Welcome back guys to another video. It's Regime here, and today I've got another Advanced Warfare multiplayer guide. Today we're going to be looking at something that a lot of you guys have been asking about, and that's Dogfight Medals. So what are they? Well, Dogfight Medals are what you get when you kill an enemy when you're both in the air. So when you're both exo boosting or anything like that, as long as both of you have your feet off the ground and you kill the enemy before you touch the ground again, either of you, then you will get a Dogfight Medal. Now, I've spent a long time with this guide to get them easier. They're required for certain camos like SMG camos, and I hope you guys do appreciate the amount of time I put into this. If you guys do find it useful at all, then it'll be really awesome. Like most of the recent videos that I've done, you guys have shown a ton of support, and I really do appreciate that. We're only about 40 subscribers off 1,000 now, so that's really awesome, and I really can't thank you guys enough. But let's get into today's video more. So really, I think this is going to be useful to a ton of you. So many people have been asking about this camo challenge, you know, the dogfight one, and I just want to help you guys. So like I said, really SMGs are the main type of weapon class that you're going to be using these medals for. I can't remember whether they're for shotguns and stuff. I don't think they are, but I might be wrong. But they're mainly just for SMGs and that kind of thing. So if you're trying to get a camo for SMG, then you're going to want to get these dogfight medals. Now, I'm not sure exactly what's happened in terms of the camo updates, that kind of update, because I'm on last gen, and the last gen has kind of been neglected quite a lot with Advanced Warfare, and we haven't been receiving any of the updates yet. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One have the camos updated, I believe, so it's a lot easier, and some of the challenges have changed. But in last gen, we've still got the old challenges, so I'm not sure what it's changed to, so I'm not quite aware of any changes, so how to kind of help you with that. So I'm sorry guys if anything's incorrect in terms of that, but you know, I believe you still do need dogfight medals. So they may sound quite difficult, but in actual fact, once you use this guide, they are a lot easier. So what you want to do is you want to find an appropriate game mode, appropriate map. Really, that's the best part. I think the appropriate map is probably the most useful thing in this guide. And then finally, an exo ability. That's very useful as well. I'm going to be talking about the exo ability at the end, so if you really can't wait to that, then just skip along to the end when I talk about the exo ability. If not, enjoy the ride guys, and I'm going to be doing a very useful video anyway, so it's kind of in your interest not to miss any of the first parts. So quickly, we're going to get onto the weapon. Like I talked about, is mainly for SMG, so for that reason I've equipped the KF5. Love this SMG. It's the first one you get, and it's one of my favourite ones, so I just use that. Now I will be switching up the weapon, so I don't mean to make it boring, but I just love this SMG. So for getting camo challenges, I just use ones like this, the Wild 27, that kind of thing, and I hope you guys can understand that. Now for attachments, I've had to go for the perk 3 wildcard to let me have 3 attachments rather than the standard 2, and I've gone for 4 grip, which means that I have reduced recoil when I'm shooting, so the gun stays on target more. I also have target enhancer, so that you have a nice big sight like the red dot sight, but it has a nice square in the middle, so that it's like easier to see the enemy with the reticle in front of it. So to explain and make myself clear, if you've got a tiny little red dot and you're shooting someone on the other side of the map, it's going to seem like immense recoil on that sight, because the red dot is just going to kick up. Not the sight itself, but on the weapon, it look like it's going to kick up and it's going to go way off the enemy. With this big red square, what's going to happen is it's just still going to kick up, but because it's a bigger red square, it still should stay, you know, on top of the enemy, and so you still should be able to shoot them. And yeah, this sight obviously also highlights anyone that comes into contact, or anyway, so if any part of the screen or any part of the reticle, so if any part of the sight goes in front of an enemy, so an enemy runs past it, then you will see them come up as red on the screen, so it indicates them really clearly so you can see them easier. And I prefer to red dot in this case only, so I would definitely recommend that target enhancer. If you can't cope with that, then just go for red dot, but I really think target enhancer is the one that's going to be useful for you guys. And then because it's an SMG, and some of those kills you're going to get are going to be from the longer ranges, you're going to want advanced rifling, which extends the range of the weapon, makes it more successful at those longer ranges. So for perks, then this is the most important part. We've got perk 1, overcharge. It basically increases the battery life of your exo. I'll talk about that more in a minute, very important. Perk 2, we've gone for fast hands, reloads faster, so you can quickly put as many bullets as you can into the weapon and reload it, so that you've got maximum for as long as possible and as quickly as possible. And then, you know, finally for perk 2, we've gone for peripherals. It means we've got a large mini-map, and anyone we kill, in terms of the enemies, an enemy won't see someone that you've killed, because it's their friendly, they won't see them as dead. It won't show it because you've used this perk. Now, peripherals is mainly for people who like look strategically on the minimap, and if you guys don't do that too much, then you might want to leave this perk out, trade it for something else, or just get rid of it altogether. You don't have to go for 13 points, you know, you don't have to. There's no reason why you should not, but there's no reason why you absolutely have to. So if you don't want to go for one, don't try and spam it up with, you know, score streaks and stuff. Just leave it, because sometimes it can actually be a hindrance. So For the third perk, we've gone for Blast Suppressor and Toughness. You guys know about these already, but if any of you don't, Blast Suppressor reduces the sound of your exo when you jump, and also gets rid of the ping that you guys make when you jump with your exo. So when you jump, a little red ring will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's called like a ping in COD. And there's no ping that appears on the minimap if you're using this perk, so it's very useful. It's kind of like when you shoot your weapon with a silencer and nothing shows up, it's kind of like that. And then for Toughness, it just means that you flinch less when you're being shot, so you won't kind of hold back as much when you're shooting. So really, it's a bit difficult to explain that perk, but it's very, very useful. Now finally, the most important part of this guide is the map, the game mode, and the ability. So for maps, try and go for ones where you've got like verticality, and you've got, say, like rooftops up above, and then you've got layers of land lower down. So by this I mean things like Riot. You've got lots of rooftop and Riot, and lots of people try and jump up to that rooftop, so it's very useful. They're going to be in the air more often, and seeing as the challenge is to kill an enemy while you and them are in the air, this just makes it a bit easier for you. Other maps include things like Terrace, Biolab, and Horizon. Actually, that Horizon works quite well as well. So that's maps. I really like Riot. That's probably my favourite map to go for in terms of these Dogfight Medals. Try and go for those maps basically where you've got like high rooftops and then lower down ground, so that people try and jump up onto the roof. And then in terms of game mode, I would say Uplink's probably the best game mode, because in Uplink, not only do people, for some reason, as soon as you join the game, anywhere around the map, people somehow and for some reason exo boost and exo jump more. Like, they jump off the ground more with their exo in Uplink than they do in any other game mode, in my opinion. As far as I'm concerned, that's what I found out, and that's what I've seen. I don't know why it is, because Uplink, obviously I know there's goals on each side of the map, and you have to boost jump into the goal to get 2 points. But even when people are not near the goal, they're just exo boosting a lot more. I don't know, but people kind of get into the mind frame where they think they need to exo boost in Uplink, and so you want to be going into Uplink because more people will be off the ground more often, and it just makes your chances of getting a medal easier. So that's the game mode, that's the map. This time the map is more important, I would say, than the actual game mode itself, but Uplink seems to mean that more people are in the air, especially if you hang around the enemy's goal or your friendly's goal. People will be exo boosting more. The enemies will either try and protect it by coming to exo boost towards you and kill you, or they'll be trying to exo boost towards you with the satellite to get into the goal and get 2 points. So, you know, they're going to be exo boosting a lot more in that game mode. And then finally is the exo ability, the most important, well, this like the second or, you know, joint first most important part of the class. Basically, if you want to use exo hover, because basically a lot of people will think that this medal can only be got by you jumping in the air and the enemy jumping in the air. Well, that's not true at all. If your enemy's jumping in the air by using one of these game modes, by using these maps, that makes it a lot easier for you. But that's the enemy side of thing. You want to kind of make it so the enemy jumps more often, but that still leaves you in a bad position, because if you have to jump when they're jumping to kill them, then it's going to be quite difficult for you to aim your gun in the right place before you hit the ground again, and the same for them. So what you want to do is you actually want to equip exo hover. So when you think that enemies are near, or when you know enemies are near, or when you see their ping or something, this is why you use blast suppressor. When you see their ping, then what you'll do is you'll equip the exo hover, and that will mean that you're suspended in the air. You're kind of literally just hovering there for as long as this battery lasts on the exo hover, but the battery runs out extremely quickly. So what you want to do is you want to equip, like I said earlier, perk 1 overcharged. It means that your exo battery life is longer, so that really helps you out. Now, if you're not moving while you're hovering, the battery should last for about 13 seconds, which is more than enough time to get this dogfight medal. If you run out of that battery completely, try and go for the dogfight medal still by just jumping, and if you're not unable to, just try and go into a gunfight and just get normal kills. And then if you die, it'll be more helpful if you die, but don't try and go and die. But just if you die, then you'll respawn with a new battery again, and you can keep trying again. Overcharge increases the battery life. Now there's one important thing to note, and that's if you're using your exosuit and you are moving forward while you're in hover mode, you actually use up the battery a lot quicker than if you were just to stay in the air in one position. So to make myself clear, if you have jumped in the air and then just equipped the hover, then you should use the battery up quite slowly. You get it for about 13 seconds, which is really, really useful. Now, if you are moving forward while you're hovering, you use up more battery, and it only probably lasts for about 5 seconds, if that. It's so much less while moving forward. So try and stay still while you're hovering. I know, obviously, it makes you more of a target, so try when you're doing it to exo boost. Like I said, close to the edge of a roof, so that if an enemy comes up and boost jumps in your face, then you're going to be getting a kill, a dogfight medal. But try to make sure that your back is covered by some wall or something like that, so that you're not prone to getting picked off all the time by enemies. So really, that's the tip, guys. I hope this has been helpful. Some of the gameplay has just been normal gameplay as far as I am aware, but some of the gameplay has been, I've showed you clips and bits of getting these dogfight medals. Now, I've only shown you 4 here, but I got a lot more than that. I've got a lot more of that due to this guide, and as you saw in Riot, I got 2 within probably about 30 seconds of each other, maybe a minute, but really using this guide, and then I had to come off and I went to go eat. So if I had not gone to eat, I probably could have got 3 or 4 at least in that game. So really, this is definitely going to help you out. I'm sorry this has been a long video, guys, but it's definitely been helpful for me, and I wanted to get all this information out to you guys. So I hope that's been everything. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If there's any new information that I haven't covered, then I'll update that in the description or on an annotation or an updated video. Tomorrow I'll be doing things like strafe and skeet shooter and that kind of thing. I'll also be doing a new series, so stay tuned tomorrow, guys. I'm going to be doing hopefully an infected series starting tomorrow, so that's going to be awesome. Can't thank you enough, guys, for all this new support, and I can't thank you enough for watching today's video. A like would be super appreciated if you guys have enjoyed or found this guide useful, and all that's left to say is I hope to see you guys on my next video.